What's going on, Jerome's? So, lost in the minutia of all the, trading up for Drake May, Jaden Daniels, JJ McCarthy talk is Michael Penix Jr., the pride of Washington, formerly at Indiana. And I feel like he's just sort of chilling. And what's interesting is that in most draft classes, Penix would be a top 3 quarterback. But since this QB class is so thick, THICC, he's sort of the, that guy. The other one. Now, yes, with Penix, his number one thing is the injury history, and it is extensive going back to Indiana. 2 ACL tears in the same knee, as well as shoulder issues, but he's proven that he can stay healthy over the last 2 years in Washington, was a Heisman Trophy runner-up last year to Jaden Daniels, as well as led Washington to the national title game, which we don't talk about. Right into absolute buzzsaw, right? And, of course, just connecting the dots. Kevin O'Connell asked about McAfee, asked about Penix on the McAfee show, smiling. I feel like this dude cannot tell a lie. This MFer is George Washington minus the cherry tree, and he's got his real teeth. That's what's going on, man. Also, yes, all the jokes. Rising like a Penix mightier, like Dr. Seuss. The Vikings need to draft Michael Penix. I really mean this, or something like that, right? But either way, woo. Of all of the edits, this one I think might be the sexiest. My God. And also, I feel like we're living in a simulation, and I feel like we're having a simulation off the simulations, because at a certain point, I mean, those like Oculus goggles will become the norm, and then we'll just live in like an artificially enhanced reality. That's what we're going to do, man. But, I mean, with Penix, I mean, that looks really, really good, man. Long story longer. So, Penix, like, he understands that there's a lot of people who question his health, question him on the field, and he went to the Players Tribune and penned an open letter to NFL GMs, and the main line from it is the last line, and it's as cold as ice. It's an EKG that will tell you everything you need to know about me. So, measuring the hot, bum, 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 bum. That's what Penix is talking about. Now, a lot of people went out and said, did the whole X-ray, he's got that dog in him meme, but X-ray is not an EKG. It's all about the hat. It's all about heart with Michael Penix Jr. Just reading the tail end of this, it's really good. I hear it all the time. He's been injured. What happens if he gets injured again? Haven't I shown you what that looks like? Haven't I put up 2,000 plays on tape since my last injury, since my 4th season-ending injury in 4 years? That constantly mentioned whenever my name is brought up, and it's true. I feel like that's all that fans bring up. That's all that like draft Twitter brings up. But I feel like if there have been concerns with Penix's ACL, which, I mean, he moved pretty good at his pro day with the ACL injuries, as well as if there was an issue with the shoulder, I feel like that would have been leaked. I feel like that would have been leaked and put out in the media, but there hasn't been any steam about that. Even BS steam, where a team is trying to get Penix to fall. So I think if it was an issue, we would have heard about it. Truth is, I'd be more worried if I'd never been injured. We don't all come back the same. I can't speak for those that have never gone through anything, but I can speak on me. I've seen how deep my foundation is. I know the storms I'm prepared to weather. For most people, that'd be the end of their story, but there's more to my story, and I own every page of it. And all this talk about, quarterbacks have to face adversity, and then Caleb Boone's like, what about my adversity? I didn't start as a freshman. But Michael Penix Jr. has gone through legit adversity, where 2 ACLs, same leg, shoulder issues, which is kind of a big deal for quarterbacks, and he came back from it and had 2 amazing seasons out of Washington. There's no other way to slice it. This isn't a solo journey for me. There's been plenty of other guys who were cut from the same fabric, who experience the same challenges and display the same resilience. Guys you would have lost money on if you bet against them. Guys like Thomas Davis, who went on to make 3 Pro Bowls after tearing the same ACL 3 times. Also, he was an undersized linebacker. He was a big safety at Georgia, but yeah, he turned into an amazing stud. Guys like Frank Gore, who had a 16-year Hall of Fame level career at running back after taking his ACL twice in college. That was a knock on Frank Gore. And people forget, when he was coming out of the U, that was the knock on Frank Gore. He can't stay healthy, and then the dude became the NFL's Iron Man at running back. So I have no problem taking all the MRIs and X-rays you ask of me. Truth is, it's an EKG that will tell you everything you need to know about me. Bum, 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 bum. I mean, I love Michael Penix Jr. because in terms of just FU, so my FU quarterback rankings were, hey, a guy that's going to come in and put together a drive and just rip the other team's heart out. Penix is up there. I mean, Penix is up there with May and Caleb Williams in that regard. And yes, everyone points to, oh, what about the Michigan game? Oh, what about the Michigan game where he was so bad? Well, you know who else was bad in the Michigan game? Every single friggin' player on Washington. All right, so, Penix was behind the 8 ball all day long. The offensive line was very poopy. Rome Odunze basically checked out, and the defense was obviously terrible, especially the run defense. So, yeah, but also, people forget how damn good he was against Texas. He was surgical with this MF against the Longhorns defense, which was top 10 in the nation last year. I mean, people just completely write that off. I mean, because after the semifinal game, Penix was probably his draft stock super high. But then of course, it's a what have you done for me lately league. And Michigan, even though Michigan, frankly, was probably one of the top 10 college football teams of all time last year. They were just a juggernaut, 15-0, just completely destroying teams, and it sort of is what it is. But like we've gone through before, there were so many times where Washington's road to the national title game was not easy, right? So they had very close, tightly contested games where Penix needed to make plays at the end, and he certainly did. They beat Oregon twice. The Washington State game, the Oregon State game were very, very near-run things. They beat a very good Utah team as well. He outdueled Caleb Williams, Washington versus USC. So it's a spot at the end of the day where I do think that there are legit concerns about Penix Jr.'s health, but honestly, if they determine he's the guy, I think that his ceiling is as high as any quarterbacks in this draft. Yes, he's a little bit older. Yes, he's faced adversity. Yes, this, that, and the other thing. Don't care. Don't care. Just he's the best quarterback in the nation off of play action, which is important in Kevin O'Connell's scheme, as well as he can drop dimes. In terms of just live arm talent, he may be the best in this draft class. So, again, if the Vikings aren't able to maneuver into the stratosphere, or if there's a bidding war, or if the Broncos want to do something stupid, same thing with the Raiders and or the Giants, and then the Vikings just stick and pick and take Penix at 11, I wouldn't be mad. I would not be mad at all, because he indeed got the hot bum. But your thoughts are thoughts. Michael Penix Jr., cold as ice, man. Cold. I love that. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.